If you're just getting into the meeting, if you will please sign in with your full name and your school. Okay, we are at 11 o'clock, so we're going to get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If you just got in here, we need you to type in your full name and your school into the chat box. This is a backup for us. We know you had to sign in to get into the meeting, but we just need a backup just in case, because this is our first meeting for Summit Conference. I need to let you know that this meeting will be recorded. And so if anyone, we just need to let you know that. So please sign into the chat box with your full name and your school, and we will go ahead and get started. We want to welcome you to Fundamentals of Technology. We think you're going to be really excited about the changes that we have to show you today. We have worked over the past year with a volunteer committee of about 16 teachers. Including an administrator, a representative from our testing division at ODCTE, and we've worked hard to streamline the competencies. We have gone from 43 competencies to 21, and we think you'll really like it. They are updated, they are what your students need to learn, and remember as we go through it, this is a surface level dive into fundamentals of technology. We are updated with the IC3 GS5 competencies, and what you see today, you will be able to find on CTU later today, sometime after the meeting. I'm going to introduce our committee who is helping present this today. They're just a smaller group from the large group of 16 that we had. First of all, I'm Kathy, and I'm a program specialist with ODCTE. We also have Kerry Eades with us today, who is, who's from our testing division at ODCTE. We also have a representative from high school, middle school, and a technology center with us. We have Emily Goff from Morrison High School. We have Cassandra Ricks from Southeast Middle School in Oklahoma City. And we have Connie Garner from Canadian Valley Technology Center. I also want to say thank you to Stacy Fike from Canadian Valley Technology Center. She's going to help us record this today. So I'm going to stop sharing this and start sharing the screen for our syllabus. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Everyone can see it. Okay, so as you can see, we still have the OCAS code at the top. This is Oklahoma Promise approved. That's still really important that you have this on here, and that is the code that you report to the state for any high school students that you have, so they can get that Oklahoma Promise credit. I'm going to pass it along now to Kerry Eades, who is going to talk to you about frequency and criticality. This is something new that you're going to see on our syllabus.
Good morning, and I just want to start off by saying that as competency-based education is built upon skill standards, so are the tests that we create in our division. So earlier this year, like Kathy said, we convened a committee of subject matter experts to review our previous standards, and then we compared and contrasted those with the newest IC3 GS5 standards. So the standards, once created, consist of duties and tasks, and then we assign frequency and criticality ratings for each task. So frequency simply refers to how frequently that task is performed in the workplace, or in this case, most likely an educational setting. Criticality refers to how critical this task will be for a person to achieve success in one's job or the classroom. So when you look at the frequency ratings, a rating of 1 would indicate that that task is performed less than once a week. A 2 would mean at least once per week, and then a 3 would be once or more per day. So then when you also look at criticality, a score of 1 indicates that that task is slightly critical to one's success. 2 would be moderately critical, and 3 would be extremely critical. So in effect, 3 would mean if you don't have success with that task, you probably won't have success within a work environment or the classroom setting. And that pretty much explains frequency and criticality. Kathy?
Okay, thank you, Kerry. And it's hard to remember what that is, so we have included a description of it in the syllabus. So you'll find it right here, frequency and criticality. And like Kerry was saying, those are the numbers that you're going to see at the end of each duty. So now I'm going to pass it on to our teachers who are going to go through the duties with you.
All right, good morning. I'm Connie Garner from Canadian Valley Technology Center, and we're just going to start off with Duty A mobile devices because of this is a new IC3 standard, and it's very relevant because people are using mobile devices constantly now. So we'll just talk through a few of these items. Classify cellular phone connections and carriers. This includes the implications of owning a device. So teaching carrier and connection plans and contracts related to cellular phone. Also comparing cellular versus Wi-Fi enabled devices and connection limitations, including Wi-Fi management, functions of a tablet, cellular data uses versus Wi-Fi connectivity. Understand smartphone functions and limitations. These would be things like the abilities and limitations of apps, internet connections, and user benefits of apps. Understanding the use of phones in a professional setting, digital citizenship and workplace skills related to cell phone use would tie in very well here. Differentiate between SMS and MMS text messages and multiple platforms, for example, instant messaging and using the basic features of chat and Skype. And then configure location services and notifications. This includes appointment and notification configuration, alert types and settings, and notification rules, such as when to turn on location services.
Good morning. I'm Emily Goff, and I will do Duty B, Intro to App Culture. So the first one is understanding how apps are obtained, must have an account, app stores, purchasing apps with a credit card, in-app purchases, and how to use an app store. You can do this on kids' phones, or you can do this on your computers and kind of sell it either way. The second one is identify different app types. This can be whether it's a phone app, Apple or Android, or whether it's an app on your computer like Word or something along those lines. And the last one is compare strengths and limits of web applications versus local applications. It's a great research project there for your kids. And that is Duty B.
All right, Duty C, and if maybe we could get it zoomed in just a little bit, please.
Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry I forgot to do that.
Duty C, hardware devices. Just to kind of give you a quick little overview, there's a couple of them that have parentheses and some of them that don't, but the wording is allowed for that way any new technologies that may come out. So just because we don't have it specifically listed, is probably because it hasn't come out yet. So just kind of be able to update things in the future. First one, identify types of devices such as server, laptops, desktop, tablets, be able to kind of say what's different about them, say what's similar. Identify the impact of memory and storage for device usage. It just says a device, so you could look at a phone storage versus a laptop storage versus a desktop storage, and you can do a nice comparison. Connect and use different peripherals, camera, audio, microphone, USB, printer, external, display, and necessary device ports. Just you can use, if you've got access to all of them, great. If you only have access to a microphone, then hey, as long as they know how to connect and to differentiate between the different ports on the back of a computer, you're good. Connect a wireless device to a network. You may struggle with some of your firewall protections, and you may have to bring in like an IT guy or something who can do that for you if there is firewall trouble. Understand power management and power settings. understand driver concepts as well as their device compatibility and updates. We really liked updates there. Compare platform implications and considerations. Are you a Mac? Are you a Windows? Are you Linux, iOS, Android? All the different types of platforms out there. Compare platform compatibility with cellular, Wi-Fi, and wired. Those are the three big ways that we connect nowadays. Understand concepts for connecting devices to the internet. Understand common hardware configurations. Compare pros and cons of touchscreen versus non-touchscreen devices. That would be a good little day to do like a debate or something for the kiddos. Have a pro screen and a pro non-touchscreen side and see what they do. And that is Ddc Hardware Devices.
All right, DDD computer software. It includes several standards, understanding the operating system versioning and update awareness, compare concepts surrounding applications versus operating systems versus global settings, understand operating systems and software settings. All of these include understanding the effects of changing system settings and changing application settings. For example, in Microsoft Office, what effects happen when you add a command to the quick access toolbar or change the autosave frequency, or just things like a default font size or print settings. Understand software preferences and settings. This would include personalizing the desktop and screensavers, changing the screen resolution, setting the desktop background. This is where we would also want to teach learning to minimize, maximize, and resizing windows. Understand users and profiles. We don't have to go too deep here, but it's important that students understand the basics of setting up an appropriate user account type and modifying user account settings. This is another one where they may not have the ability to do this in a school setting, but they should at least be able to understand users and profiles. Understand file structures and file folder management, including image files. This includes a lot, and we felt it was important. It includes things like identifying file name extensions and file formats, the effects of file permissions, learning to grant rights to view and edit documents, which I think is especially important with cloud computing, how to create, move, copy, rename, delete files and folders. And then regarding images, along with naming image files with the appropriate file extension, it also includes recognizing document scanning concepts and appropriate file folder formats. Navigate menu options. This would include using context menus like the right-click feature and searching for files, finding files using a search feature. The troubleshoot software issues. Examples might include how to install, uninstall, update, and repair software, and then just how to handle some initial problem-solving techniques. Identify use of global positioning system and geographic information system in society. This is very condensed from the previous fundamentals of technology standard. And that covers Duty D.
Duty E is backup and restore. And if you're like me, this is not my strength. So my thought on this, and I'll go over what it entails, is to actually enlist your local IT person to come in and give a speech about how to do this and how it works. So the first one is understand local data backup and restore functions. This can be on a local computer, and if you have your IT guy come in, you can have him show how you do it on a server. Differentiate use of backup, find a lost file, and restore fixing settings. Understand steps to complete a full system restore on a personal device. Word to the wise, don't have them do this on your phone. On their phones, this might be dangerous. But that's backup and restore.
All right, next up, Duty F, file sharing. I know we talked a little bit about files in D, but sharing gets its own uniqueness. You can review some of the concepts there, like organization. because you're going to have to find your files to share them. Understand ways to transfer files, attachments, links, shared folders and compressed files, all the differences between those and how to send them, whether through an email or through a text message. Understand PDF usage for file sharing. PDF is big in the industry world, so making sure they understand PDFs is big input here, why it's out on its own. And that is duty F, file sharing.
Right, duty G, we're into cloud computing. Most students are probably using cloud computing already, many on a daily basis. So including this new standard is very applicable to fundamentals of tech. It's also a new IC3 standard. Options for resources when teaching this might include a Google Drive or Office 365 with the OneDrive or some other cloud computing application. So first one, understanding cloud concepts. So maybe cloud storage versus cloud access. Identify benefits of using cloud storage. It might be worthwhile to discuss sharing files and being able to collaborate via the cloud. Access and use the cloud to upload, download, and sync. And differentiate web applications versus local applications, including subscription services. So things like software as a service concepts, if they're using a learning management system, that could be discussed. And then just the different types of cloud storage and different ways that you can use cloud storage on a PC versus a tablet versus a smartphone. And that's duty D.
Duty H is security and understanding basic account management. So this is going to be managing your passwords and all of that going on. Understanding basic threats to security of computers, data, and identity. Great idea is to talk to them about the employment fraud and all the identity theft that's been going on. That's a great way to throw that one in, and basically how to secure your computer. Understand implications of monitoring software, the surveillance stuff. Differentiate connecting to secured and unsecured networks, wired and wireless. Understanding importance of antivirus software usage, firewalls and basic setting understandings. Identify e-commerce interactions, best purchases practices. This is a great one to throw in the Amazon and stuff that's going on out there as far as what people have had to do recently with this pandemic. The last one is define virtual private networks. And I can tell you as a teacher, if you do not know what a VPN is, go ask your students. They will be glad to inform you of exactly what that is. And that is duty H.
All right, duty I, common application features. These are features that you should be able to do in anything, not just a specific program, able to do on the web or anywhere really on a computer. Demonstrate copy, cut, and paste keyboard equivalents. Pay attention if you're a Mac versus a Windows. There are some differences. It'd be great if they know both. Compare differences between plain text and HTML. I.e. text versus markup or with markup. Use spell check. Use review features. Demonstrate find, replace. Select text or cells. Demonstrate redo and undo. Demonstrate drag and drop. Understand read-only view. So that is great to tie into whenever you're discussing how to collaborate together. Sometimes it might be in read-only, and that's why they can't collaborate together. Understand protected mode. Again, another might not be able to collaborate because it's protected. And demonstrate magnification. So that is common application features, everything they should be able to actually do. Duty I.
All right, duty J, hands-on word processing activities. These are pretty self-explanatory, and they're hands-on, so not just defining or understanding, but what do we want students to do? Any word processing software can be used to complete these tasks, and it's basic formatting, adjusting margins, page sizes, page layout, changing text sizes, font styles, creating and saving files, printing a document, understanding print views, using the review options, and being able to create tables, and also understanding file types that are compatible or editable with word processors.
Duty K is hands-on spreadsheets activities. And again, this is one of those that you can use numbers, you can use Google Sheets, you can use Excel. At my school, I teach both Google and Excel because the science teachers use that. There is absolutely nothing on here that we haven't covered before. It has common terms, how to insert and delete rows and columns, modify cell sizes, filter and sort data, understanding functions, formulas, operators. Really and truthfully on this one, you guys, it's just it'll be a week project on this one. Then that's Duty K.
All right, Duty L, hands-on database activities. If you have access, you are free to use it, but most companies nowadays create their own type of database programs and will train you on it. So just understanding more the concept of what a database is kind of more what this one's about. So defining what your data is, whether it's a contact name or a phone number that might go in a cell phone. Understand how websites utilize databases, like if you look on something on Amazon, you now start seeing it on Facebook in an advertisement for you because databases link that information together. Identify basic concepts of relational databases and define metadata. Sorry, I always have trouble with that one. And that is Duty L, databases, short and sweet.
Right. Duty M, hands-on presentation activities. These are pretty straightforward also and haven't changed too much from the previous syllabus. So understanding file types compatible with presentation software. In understanding how to connect external and extended monitors to display presentations, using presentation views, adding animations, effects, and slide transitions, creating and organizing slides and designing slides, and just knowing the presentation software options. So that's Duty M.
Duty N is Introduction to Digital Media. Again, this covers a whole lot of different things that you're just going to touch on. The first one is import and insert images into a document. This could be whether you use Word, InDesign, Publisher, this is up to you. Crop images. And the last one is identify different types of multimedia like print, film, and videos. So again, great projects can come out of this duty, and that's Duty N.
All right, Duty O, online functionality. This would be a great space to bring back etiquette, where we've already talked about social etiquette and being online and how to behave online. Great spot to, if you haven't already touched on it, to bring it back in here. So understand email basics, creating calendar events and appointments. And that's through any app. So if you have Outlook, use that. If you have Gmail, they have a calendar. If you have Apple, I don't remember what it's called, iCalendar or something like that, use that. Understand digital identity and cyberbullying in social media. Understand best communication tools. Understand virtual meeting options. They probably did a Google Meets or a Zoom at this point, so they have that to talk about. Demonstrate effective online searches. Understand implications of copyright violations. Both of those two are great to tie in with your English department, or to do if you can do a project with your English, or else just tie that in like a research project or something like that, and then how to cite your sources. Identify virtual reality uses and applications. If you have VR, awesome. If not, you don't have to have VR in order to do this one. Demonstrate appropriate internet etiquette. Validate internet resources, again, citing your sources. and research and validate new technologies. And that is O, online functionality.
Duty P, introduction to web page development. This is very basic, not in depth, understanding basic concepts of web page development and understand HTML and CSS in web page development. Since this is an introductory class, this is a very basic introduction to web page development. However, as time allows within your individual classrooms, there's a lot of room to enhance this section and do a lot more with web page development.
Duty Q is smart technology, and this is one that we added in, and it says understanding use of artificial intelligence and technology. This would be a great one for your kids to kind of, they could debate on that one. Define Internet of Things as used to connect and operate devices. Again, practice connecting things and getting connected to the internet. Identify ethical issues related to the use of smart technology. They'll probably quote iRobot on that one. And identify use of drones in society. And I am certain any middle school or junior high kid's gonna love that one. And that is Duty Q.
All right, Duty R, introduction to programming. There is not a specific language here listed for this. It's all of 2 dots. Define an algorithm and create a simple program. So if you know Java, if you know Python, you can do that in either language. If you don't know any of those languages and you like code.org or Code Combat, Code HS, any of those that can help you walk through lessons and learning how to define and learning how to create a basic program and make your little robot turn right 3 times or turn left 2, turn right. That's all you're doing. You don't have to design a big, huge app or complex thing that they learn in further programming. This is just to kind of give them a taste. And that's Duty R.
Okay, Duty S switches gears from software and hardware and technology into introduction to leadership. This did not change much from the previous syllabus. It includes identify leadership characteristics and leadership styles, identify professional and community organizations like student organizations, civic organizations, professional organizations, social organizations. For many students, BPA or DECA might be the first professional organization they're aware of. I think a lot of us already know how important it is to let them know that professional organizations exist, and what a benefit it is for students to be able to join a professional organization throughout their career. And then just participate in student organization activities at the local, state, and national levels. And that's Duty S.
Duty T is introduction to the employment process. And this one, I would suggest that, especially if you're teaching middle school and even on into high school, the OK Career Guide, it allows you to do a lot of this and keep track of it. So the first one is set occupational objectives. Whether it's an entrepreneurship, self-employment, full-time or part-time, this allows your kids to kind of do a little research on what they're looking at for a job. Compose a letter of application. I know that OK Career Guide has a template in there that they can use. So if you have the younger kids, that might help. Create a resume and portfolio in hard copy and digital format. Demonstrate knowledge of employment services, how to do online searches, private, state, and federal. You can take it to a different level too and use OK Career Guide with your seniors on how to search for scholarships in there. Review potential interview questions and techniques. This is a great one to have an outside person come in and actually interview students. Participate in pre-interview activities, mock interviews, preparing questions for prospective employers. Participate in job interviews, interview etiquette, application, appropriate dress, resume research, company history. And, you know, that's another great project. Have them draw a company out of a hat and let them research the company history and then be interviewed over that company and that job. Create post-interview activities, follow-up letters, and inquiry calls. complete job acceptance, negotiate salary and benefits, and complete benefit forms. The next one is discuss legal issues, drug screening, discrimination, harassment. There are a ton of resources for this one out there right now, and it will definitely be one that we definitely need to touch base with in our classrooms this year. Identify career and training opportunities, how to network, professional organizations, education requirements, salaries, labor market, all of that is in there for that one. And the last one is demonstrate knowledge of resignation, termination, and exit interview processes. Really and truthfully, make your kids write a 2-week notice letter on that one, so that way they understand that they need to give their employer a 2 weeks notice. And that is duty T.
All right, duty U, employability skills, last but not least. I'll let you guys pause for a second there. Yes, I said last. This is the last one. Employability skills, demonstrate effective communication skills, demonstrate the ability to present in front of a group. This does not have to be PowerPoint. They can present anything or in any software. Demonstrate time management skills, understand remote workforce implications. We have the great ability to discuss that as we open back up or possibly close again, whether we return to working in buildings or stay at home. So great little topic there. And understand impact of multi-generational and diverse workforce. And that is duty U. That is all the duties.
All right, thank you. Thank you to my group who is helping present today. That was 21 competencies. Such a streamlined syllabus here, and we're really excited about it. So I'm going to scroll down to required testing. So this is the same. You are required to give one of these certification tests at the end of the year. It's up to you which one you choose. A couple of differences on here are we have added a test out test, Office Pro, and Brain Bench is now known as SHL Talent Central, and you'll be able to log in to some PD from Brain Bench during Summit Conference. So this is their name now. Everything is updated testing, computer literacy. The test has changed to now basic computer literacy. And so that's some exciting changes if you do use Brain Bench. It's now SHL Talent Central. The recognized course textbooks, all of that, that's there for you to choose from. That's also updated. So now I'm going to pass it along to Kerry Eades.
Well, first of all, I want to tell everyone thank you. The BMITE staff and the instructors I work with and the presenters, they're always so knowledgeable, and it's like I kind of learn every time we do these things. But as you've gone through the different competencies or duty areas, if you, again, look at the numbers like 3 and 3, 2 and 3, something like that, again, that's the frequency and criticality, and that's really what drives the tests that we create. So when you look at these, if you see a rating of, say, a 3 and 3, a student will most likely see a test item on that task. A 1 and 1, probably not. But these will also be in a study guide that we'll create, and the study guide and the test that we make, the test should be out there by the first part of October. And once completed, Kathy can send out a link to everyone so you can easily locate it on our website. But really the study guide is a great test plan, and it's a great study guide. And some teachers we have actually even print these out for the students so they can review that before they take the test. So when you look at the study guide that we create, it will tell you other things. It gives you sample questions or a multiple choice format. It will tell you how many questions are on the test, the number of test items per duty area, and then the frequency and criticality ratings on each task, even break it down further so you can help prepare your students for the test when they take it. So like I said, several instructors I work with in different areas, they print these out prior to a student taking tests so they can use that to review. And I hope if you go to our website and look at those once it's out there, it'll really help you and your students. Kathy.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. So for this year, for the 2020-2021 school year, we're going to have both tests available from ODCTE. But if your district is wanting to use the old fundamentals of technology for this year, they do need to let us know. Otherwise, you will be using the new version, and it is by district. So it has to be agreed upon in your district. If they let us know they want to use the older version, we will be keeping that for 1 year for them to use. If we do not hear anything, you will be using the new version. So when you go to test your kids at the end of the year, you will be getting the new version. If you didn't let us know anything, probably by the end of August is when we would need to know. Now we want to open it to any questions, see if we have any in the chat box or if there's anyone who's wanting to speak and ask a question. You are also welcome to do that. Let me go. To the chat box. Okay. All right. So if you would like to ask a question, this is your chance. If you'd like to type a question into the chat box, you can do it that way also. Do we have any questions?
Hey, Kathy, this is Kylie.
Hi, Kylie.
I want to know, first of all, thank you guys for working so hard on this. This is actually going to be my first year to teach Funds of Tech, so I don't know any different. But I just want to, and I really don't care who answers this. What do you guys think is the best option for text? I know we have several listed. I didn't know if maybe certain people liked one over the other. Anybody?
Hey, anyone from the group can answer this.
Well, I'm biased, so you probably shouldn't ask me.
I'll take bias even.
In Oklahoma City, we use what's called ICEV, and that's our curriculum, and it's not just for Fund of Tech, admin tech and the multimedia and everything. So it kind of depends on what all different classes you have after Fund of Tech. But it can house all of that within this one thing, so we don't have multiple books that we have to buy between all these different classes. And it has videos, and it has slides, it has interactive work for them to do, and it has handouts that you can print if you want to, and it's all PDF for anything that you print. The interactives, it grades it on the website itself. And I know ICEV is usually at August conference, if you want to look at them.
Okay, awesome. I've seen some on that too.
My students will be getting Chromebooks for one-to-one initiative. I guess I plan on teaching the Office 365, but I need, is there software out there that I can help for the virtual in case we have to go virtual to teach that? I know the ICEV was only up to 2016, I think, last year, as far as instruction, like curriculum. Does anyone have any suggestions on what to do so that I can teach that on the Chromebooks?
Okay, Douglas, do you want to talk here about what you typed in?
Here we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I don't know. I used this last year and I really like it a lot. They're new, but they're really on top of things. Very helpful and interested in doing whatever it is that we need for their course to meet our needs. So I really like that. It is labyrinthelab.com is the website, and they give you you can get a printed book if you like, but they also have everything online to do a complete applications course. It does cover a minimal of computer science concepts, but I highly recommend that if you use eLab, that you also use something like Technology Now from Cengage to cover the computer science concepts of the class. So I kind of do two things with my students, and I treat them like semester courses. I do a semester of the computer science concepts and a semester of applications.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
I put a link there in my post.
Okay, so if you want to see the link of what Doug is talking about, go to the chat box. At the end of this, if you want to save the chat box for yourself, you can also click on the ellipsis, the 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner, and you can save this information for yourself also. Sarah,
There is, I'm sorry to interrupt, there is one more thing that I would like to point out. It's the reason why I chose to go that path instead of the what I had been teaching, which was the Cengage discovering computers. And this may not be the case for everybody, but I had students using pictures and guessing a lot when they were using the Discovering Computers book, because it has a lot of really good graphics and things, but they weren't reading the content and they weren't getting the information that I felt like they needed from the reading. The lab learning textbook has very limited pictures. There's a lot of instructions and a lot of reading. And what has happened and what I found in teaching it was that they ask a lot of questions, which is what we need them to do. And so I found myself more active as a teacher, showing them how to do things and you know, sort of guiding them through it. And the results were better with this system than before, where they were just kind of guessing and turning in assignments to get a check in a box. So for me, lab learning was a much better solution. So, okay, I'm done now.
okay, thank you. And I've had several people in the chat say the same thing. They love eLab learning. There are also some other suggestions in the chat box for you. Any other questions?
Can I make a suggestion? If you get in a jam and we end up all going online again, definitely look at the back of the syllabus, because we've provided quite a few online resources just in case of this. So definitely look at those, because I know sometimes Chromebooks don't function the same way as our computers in our classroom.
Yes, good point. On any course that you're teaching, any career tech course, we have a syllabus for each one, and that's what we try to keep updated, those resources, so that you have a lot to choose from. If you have any question about what's something I can use here, we've got it broken down even to what this is good for. So look on that resource page on the very last page of the syllabus. Anyone have any other questions?
I had a question. Looking at the syllabus and stuff, like Kylie, we're going to Chromebooks and we're going one-to-one. Now, is this set up that you could teach the entire course on Google, or are we still asking to teach on Microsoft Office? Because I know some things that you can do on Google, or some things you can do in like Word, like watermarks and stuff like that, cannot be done in Google Docs. And
right.
So
we'd really like for them to also learn Word, but we didn't want to dictate in the syllabus what you had to use. And so we left it open so that what you have, you can use. We really feel like students need to learn Office in addition to Google, but we didn't want to dictate that in the syllabus. You need to use what you have, and we hope that you have the ability to teach both though.
Yeah, we had that discussion whenever we got to the 3 big hands-on with Word and PowerPoint and Excel, and that's why they got renamed as well. But we tried to word it so that way if you need to go to your district and say, hey, I need Microsoft Word, I need Office 360, you have the ability to do that with the way it's worded on there some. But if you don't have the funds in order to necessarily buy all that, and all you can do is the free stuff, then you're still able to at least get the task accomplished with the free stuff. But we did try to word it so that way you could kind of force a hand if need be, if you need to get the monies.
Yeah, thank you, Cassandra. Jackie, you want to add anything?
I do, actually. This is Jackie Arnold. We have worded this so that you have options with fundamentals of technology. If your students are going on to do administrative anything, they will have to use Microsoft Office. So if I really would like to recommend that if you have not had a chance already to watch Corinne Hoisington's presentation on why to teach Office 365, that is one of the sessions that we have available to you to watch for credit for PD. I would highly recommend that you watch that if you are on the fence about teaching Microsoft Office. It is the industry standard currently. That doesn't mean that it will always be, but it is currently. And so if your students are going on to college, or if they're going to plan on working out in the field while they're going to college, they need to know Microsoft Office. Now, I have no problem with also teaching Google. I think that's an awesome tool for certain areas, but it doesn't, if you know Microsoft products, you're going to be able to use Google. It does not automatically transfer. So I just want you to keep that in mind if you are planning on those students moving into your administrative areas where they will have to have Microsoft Office.
Okay, any other questions? Any other questions in the
I
chat?
have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
We are supposed to get professional development credit for this meeting that we took today. Is there anything we have to do to formally get that credit, or signing into the chat? Was that our sign in there, or how's that going to work?
Yes, just sign in. Make sure you've signed into the chat box with your full name and your school, and this will count towards 1 hour of your professional development for day 2.
You will be receiving a form to list everything that you did. You know, in the past, we've had those forms that you fill out. Some of you need those for your schools, some of you don't, but we will be sending out a form for you to use in the next email, which will have the rest of the links for the sessions.
Okay, and we have some questions about where can they find this recording afterwards, and how many PD hours do they need? So I'm going to give that to Jackie.
I'm sorry, were you asking me something?
Yes, they are asking where to find this recording and how many PD hours do they need? I know I can answer that, but you're over Summit, so I want to.
Okay.
Sure.
You need to have 6 hours for the second day. So you are expected to attend the first day. That is for all divisions. And that, you know, can find that information out there under the Oklahoma Summit page. If you go to our website, it's also linked. And that's day 1. On day 2, you are required to do 6 hours of PD. And you will find all those options in the spreadsheet that was sent out, and that's where the links are. So we will be sending out another email mid-July with the rest of the links. The reason why they're not out there is we're waiting to get approval of another Zoom account, which has been taking about 2 months. And so we still don't have permission to use that yet. And so we're still waiting on that before we assign those links. The recordings of the sessions will be posted out on our YouTube channel, the Be My YouTube channel. And there will be links for those as well as they are added. Does that answer that? Okay, sorry, I was reading the chat and I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. So yes, it will be on our YouTube channel, And I had a question about the syllabus. It is not on CTU yet. When I get off of here, I'll be adding that to CTU. There's several places I need to add it. What you'll see is the old syllabus will still be on there in case any districts choose to use that one for this year. And then I will be adding the new one, and it will just say new fundamentals of technology. So you'll see the word new in front of it just for this year. And then next year that will come off and the old one will come off also. So that will be on there sometime today.
If I might add, Kathy, I do want to add this. I know some of you are asking about getting the credit. Some of you came in very late. So my recommendation is that you watch this as it's recorded, because you missed most of the discussion. So make sure you do that.
Okay, and there was another question about doing 6 hours on the second day. And so I just want to make sure you guys know that they don't have to be done on the second day. There are some live recordings that you might want to watch on the second day, but then there are others that you have from July to, what is it, Jackie? September? To get your hours in for the second.
It's from today through September 30th. You should have gotten a spreadsheet with all of those. That's where the links are. Then you should have gotten a description of all the sessions. There has been another session added since the descriptions came out. So that is available to you on our website. But that's where I would go to double check to make sure. The links are not going to be on the website. And that is because we don't want everyone on earth to have access to it. So that's why they have been sent to you in an attachment. And that's where you will find the links.
So, you know, on the second day when Kerry has her meeting, we hope you all are there. And we hope it doesn't crash. You know, we're just going to do the best we can. I think will be okay. Will there be on the first day, we're expected to participate in all sessions a full day. Is that correct, Jackie? That's a question.
Well, that I would assume is what you would be expected to do if you're going to Oklahoma Summit in person. I have not heard anybody specifically state that you have to attend a session each time, but I mean, that would be my expectation.
Okay, and then the next question is, will there be a crosswalk for this? And so, yeah, it'll be the same fundamentals of technology crosswalk that you had before. You'll just make a new one based on these new competencies, based on what you teach, with the resources you use. And some districts work together on that.
Your syllabus will be available after this session. I think you already answered that, but just making sure.
Okay, any other questions? Did I answer that crosswalk question enough? Okay, any other questions? Can we send the syllabus in an email? I am going to put it on CTU. I can see if we can send it out. Okay, I know that as I have been setting up the 5-year evaluation folders, if you're having trouble getting into your CTU account, if there's a certain amount of time that goes by, if you haven't logged in, it just kicks you off and you've got to reset up your account. So if you're having trouble getting in, go in and try to reset, set up a new account again with your information, and it'll let you put the same information in. But after a certain number of days, it's less than a year, it will kick you out and act like you do not have an account anymore. So if you're having trouble, try to go in there and set up a new account again. And if you need any help walking through it also, just let us know and we'll walk you through that too. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you guys for coming on here today. Thank you to my large committee of teachers from all over who helped put this together, and for my smaller group today who helped present. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email us or call us anytime. Thank you, guys.
Kelsey, did you have a question?
No, I got it. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right. I thought I saw you getting ready when I interrupted, and so I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, I went ahead and saved the chat. When I leave, the recording should end.
Yes.
So
Okay.
thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
You have the chat saved already?
I do.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for helping. I appreciate it.